The call of the ghost claw is not a roar. It is a scalpel of sound that slices through the twilight, sharpened and nerve-wrung precise. Kill grips the fire-hardened shaft of his spear, knuckles white. He stands guard at the gap in the thorn wall, a makeshift barricade of thorny acacia branches and the sharpened ribs of last season's kills. This flimsy perimeter is all that separates his clan from the valley's true masters. Below, in the gloom, a shadow detaches itself from other shadows. It is low, fluid. A ripple of lethal muscle capped by the glint of an obsidian black eye. The Utahraptor is testing the line again. Its movements a blend of reptilian patience under terrifying, almost mammalian intelligence. It does not charge. It observes. Inside the shallow cave that serves as their world, the air is thick with the scent of fear and hunger. The last of the smoked fish is gone. The children's cries have faded into a listless silence that is far worse. This is how the ghost claws hunt. They do not simply attack. They besiege. For 3 cycles at the moon, the pack of 6 has owned the valley. They have driven off the skittish herds of ornithomimids, claimed every kill the clan has made, and picked off the unwary. 2 hunters have been lost, their screams swallowed by the indifferent jungle. The story of these ancient humans is etched in scars and empty bellies, a brutal chapter in hominid history. Their survival skills, honed over generations, are failing. The predators are too smart. Hillara, the clan's matriarch, runs a hand over a spearhead. It is not stone. It is the serrated tooth of an allosaurus they scavenged long ago, lashed to the wood with gut sinew. This is their osteodontocratic technology. The art of turning the bones and teeth of old monsters into tools to fight the new ones. But it is not enough. The ghost claws hunt as a unit. A thinking, flanking storm of sickle claws and tearing beaks. They anticipate. They coordinate. They lay traps. The clan's desperate charges are met with disciplined retreats. Their clever ambushes with even cleverer counter-maneuvers. This is not a battle against beasts. It is a war against minds that are alien, but terrifyingly sharp. Tonight, the Alpha Raptor does something new. It lets out a sharp, bird-like bark from the far side of the camp. An answering call, a diversion, as Kale and the other hunters turn. 2 raptors burst from the shadows near the weak point they've been studying for days. They are a blur of feathered motion, ignoring the humans entirely. They seize the last leather-wrapped parcel of dried roots and are gone before a spear can be thrown. The theft is an act of utter dominance. They are not just killing the clan. They are mocking them, dismantling them piece by piece. The psychological toll is devastating. Despair settles like a shroud. These early humans face an evolutionary dead end. Hillara stands at the mouth of the cave, her gaze sweeping past the taunting shadows of the raptors. She looks further, toward the river flats where silhouettes like moving hills shift in the moonlight. The great herds of Triceratops, knitting mountains of muscle, fur, and bone plate. The clan sees them only as a source of terror, an avalanche of flesh to be avoided at all costs. But Hillara's eyes, clouded with age and desperation, see something else. Not prey, not a threat. She sees a shield, a living wall. A bar great enough to break the siege. She turns to the hollow-eyed faces staring at her from the firelight. The idea that forms on her lips is madness. It is heresy. It is, perhaps, their only hope. The clan recoils from Hillara's words as from a serpent. Her proposal is not just radical. It is profane. To deliberately move the clan closer to the 3 horns is to invite oblivion. Kale speaks for all of them, his voice a low growl. The shield heads are a force of nature. Hillara, a landslide. They do not think. They crush. They will grind our bones into the mud alongside the ghost claws. He is right. The Triceratops are walking fortresses. Their rage is indiscriminate as a forest fire. The idea of using them as a shield is like trying to hide from the rain behind a tidal wave. But desperation has fractured the old rules. The ancient fear of the great herbivores is now matched by the immediate, intelligent terror of the raptors. The argument is cut short by a scout who stumbles back into the camp, chest heaving. His news is a spark in the tinderbox of their despair. A lone Allosaurus, emboldened by the twilight, had charged the edge of the great herd. A mother Triceratops, broad and old, had met the charge. She died, but her horns tore the predator's flank open, sending it screaming back into the jungle. Her calf, no bigger than a large boar, is now alone, crying in low, bleating call beside its mother's cooling corpse. The herd, in its mindless, instinctual forward momentum, has already moved on, leaving the orphan to its fate. To the hunters, this is, at best, a fleeting chance for meat. To Ilara, it is the hand of fate. But it is a young girl, Leah, who acts. She is small and quiet, a watcher, while others see only beasts, threats, or food. She sees individuals. She has watched this particular calf before, noting the curious white patch on its frill. She has seen it play. Now, she sees its terror. Before the hunters can organize their spears, Leah slips away from the group. She carries not a weapon, but a small pouch of the sweetest, most coveted fern roots, a treasure in these lean times. Kale moves to stop her, but Ilori's hand on his arm is like iron. Wait, the old woman rasps. Fear is not the only tool our human ancestors have. The scene on the river flat is a tableau from a nightmare. The dead mother is a mountain of flesh, already drawing the buzzing interest of carrion flies. The calf circles the body, frantic and alone. It snorts and stamps its little feet as Leah approaches, lowering its head to present 3 horns that, while small, are lethally sharp. Its massive keratino USB could snap a human leg bone. Leah stops a dozen paces away. She does not approach. She sits. She makes herself small, tucking her knees to her chest. She takes out a root and lays it on the ground in front of her. She makes no move. She just waits. A tiny, still point of patience in a world of violence. This moment, this offering, is a question no human has ever asked a dinosaur before. Anthropology in the distant future will have no fossil record of this. The first tentative gesture towards an impossible peace. Hours crawl by. The sun bleeds across the horizon. The scented blood is growing stronger. The ghost claws will be drawn here soon. The calf, exhausted by grief and driven by a gnawing hunger, takes a hesitant step. Then another. It sniffs the air, its great nostrils flaring. Finally, it nudges the offered root, then crunches it loudly. Leah slowly, carefully, pushes another one forward. The first thread of a new and dangerous symbiosis is woven in the twilight, a bond of shared vulnerability against a world that wants to devour them both. From the ridgeline, an obsidian eye watches. The Utahraptor tilts its head, processing this impossible scene. It sees not a girl and a calf. It sees prey comforting future prey, and it learns. The ghost claws do not wait for the moon to set. They are predators of opportunity, and the sight of their human prey huddled around a lone Triceratops calf is an anomaly they cannot tolerate. The Utahraptor gives a series of sharp, guttural clicks from the tree line. A command. The attack is not a frenzied rush but a calculated military maneuver. The raptors break left, to break right. Their movement impossibly fast, flanking the small, desperate group on the blood-soaked earth. They are not targeting the humans first. Their obsidian eyes are fixed on the calf, the weak link, the cornerstone of this insane new strategy. Elara's voice cuts through the rising panic. Hold, find the shield wall. It is a common born of desperation, a tactic never before attempted. The 6 remaining hunters, including Kale, form a loose semicircle behind the calf, their backs to Leah, who has her hands pressed flat against the creature's armored flank. Their spears point outward, a bristling hedge of bone and stone. This is the first true defensive formation these Homo Habilis have ever conceived. A circle of fragile intellect protecting a confused, terrified titan. They are no longer just hunters. They are guardians. The raptors strike. They are a blur of feathers and fury, a living storm of sickle claws. They don't charge the spear points. They are too intelligent for that. They feint. They probe. They test the line, forcing the hunters to shift their footing on the slippery ground. One raptor darts in, its jaws snapping inches from a hunter's face, while another slashes at his legs from the side. It is a terrifying, coordinated assault designed to break their formation and create chaos. The air is filled with the shriek of the raptors, the desperate grunts of the men, and the low, panicked bellows of the calf, which now thrashes its horned head, a danger to both friend and foe. Kale finds himself face to face with the alpha. The creature is larger, scarred, its intelligence a cold fire in its eyes. It ignores his spear, its gaze locked on his. It is a psychological battle. The raptor takes a single, deliberate step forward, and Kale feels his courage waver. This is the beast that has haunted his clan's nightmares, the ghost that has stolen their kin. In that moment of hesitation, another raptor explodes from his blind spot. Pain, white hot and blinding, erupts in his thigh as a sickle claw tears through muscle. He falls, his spear skittering away. The line is broken. The alpha lunges for the opening, for the girl, for the calf. But Leah does not scream. She shoves the calf's massive head with all her strength. Her voice a sharp cry that is not of fear, but of command. The calf, already panicked and now shoved by the one source of comfort it has known, reacts with pure, primal instinct. It bellows, a sound of thunder and terror, and charges blindly forward. It is not an attack. It is a stampede of one. The alpha, caught mid-lunge, has no time to evade. The force of nearly a ton of juvenile muscle and bone slams into it. The calf's brow horn, short but solid, piercing the raptor's chest. The alpha is thrown back, a broken, feathered wreck. Seeing their leader fall, the remaining ghost claws hesitate, their pack cohesion shattered. For the first time, they feel fear. They screech, snatch up their fallen leader's body, and vanish back into the darkness. The earth is reddened, the silence profound. The silence that follows is not one of peace, but of awe. On the reddened earth, a new reality has been forged. The clan, wounded and weary, stands not as conquerors, but as survivors of a miracle they themselves created. The alliance is sealed in blood and terror, a fragile, hard-won equilibrium in the endless war of prehistoric life. This was more than a battle for a scrap of territory. It was a pivotal moment in the evolution documentary of the human mind. The brain of Homo Habilis, for all its limitations, had achieved something extraordinary. It had looked upon the world's crushing power not as a force to be fled from, but as a current to be redirected. It conceived of a future beyond the next meal, a strategy beyond the sharpest spear. They had not defeated the monsters. They had, in a way, become one. The chronicles of our species are filled with stories of improbable survival. But perhaps the very first chapter was written here, in the bond between a child with nothing but empathy and a beast with nothing but strength. For how much of human history is simply the memory of that first, terrifying moment we dared to stand behind a monster and call it our shield? The chronicles are written in the earth's deep strata. You need only learn how to listen. In the coldest depths of the northern seas, the ice groans as something immense begins to stir.